As I have said several times before, my family and I have lived here for almost 20 years. I think this is a great place to live and work and raise a family, but not everyone believes like I do. I have collated 5 reasons why you may not want to move to Eastern PA. My name is Cynthia with Cinderella Cells and the Living in Eastern PA channel, and here is where we explore everything there is to know about living, working, playing, and relocating to the Lehigh Valley of Eastern Pennsylvania. Send me an email, a text, or a phone call if you would like to investigate homes or properties here. Reason number 1 why you may not want to move to Eastern PA is if you don't like 4 distinct seasons of weather. This segment is specifically for my sister, who is a California girl through and through. She likes sun and warmth all year long. But we're located at 40 degrees latitude, and the Lehigh Valley weather is not mild and pleasant all year. In the summer months, the temperatures can reach into the high 80s and low 90s, while in the winter months, temperatures usually range in the low 20s to 30s, sometimes even lower. Winters are typically cold and snowy, while summers can be hot and humid. Obviously, spring and fall are the least extreme seasons and tend to be mild with warm days and cool nights. We get some kind of precipitation, on average 120 days per year. Precipitation is rain, snow, sleet, or hail that falls to the ground. What's the meteorological advantage of rain and snow? They're almost always forecasted. So while earthquakes and tornadoes often strike without warning, we always know when inclement weather is coming. Sometimes the prediction of the total amounts of snow aren't always right on, but the start and end times often are. If the meteorologist says it will start at 6 and end at 10, they're usually correct. And while I don't understand that black magic, I do believe them when they are predicting. Even when I'm not listening to the weather report, I am clued in to when snow is coming because I see that the roads are being brined ahead of time. When you see the lines of solution on the streets, you know we're probably expecting cold and snow. Salt and sand trucks are ready to roll when it starts coming down, and it's not unusual to see 2 or 3 plows drive by the house within an hour. The Poconos, which by the way often receives even more snow due to the higher elevations, and the Lehigh Valley are well prepared for extreme winter weather. Even if my sister doesn't like the snow, she can't say that she doesn't love a good thunderstorm. And if you love them too, we have plenty. On average, the Lehigh Valley receives 48 inches of rain per year, which is about 10 inches more than the national average. We do not have a rainy season. It can and does rain all 12 months of the year. Thunderstorms are usually a summer spectacle, but you could have them in spring, fall, and even winter. This leaves us with lush green lawns from April to November. Despite all of this precipitation, there are more than 200 sunny days on average per year in the Allentown, Bethlehem, and Easton region. This means that it could be raining or snowing while the sun is shining, and while this is unusual, it does happen. The warmest days in the summer can often bring high humidity, but this usually only happens a few days per year, unlike the South where your humidity goes up and it stays there for months. As you can see from this chart, our summer high is about 84. The average low temperature is 19 with 48 inches of rain throughout the 12 months and about 30 inches of snow, usually happening in January, February, and March. Our summer highs, of course, happen in July, and that's about 84 degrees. And our winter low is often in January, and that's under 20 degrees, maybe 19. Rain, as we've talked about, can be 38 inches per year. And snow, again, we average about 30. So while you may love the weather where you are, and it may be very similar to ours, if you're like my sister and you want it to stay at approximately the same temperature all year round, Eastern Pennsylvania may not be for you because we have very distinct weather 4 seasons out of the year. Reason number 2 not to move to Eastern PA is if you like living in a flat, grid-like environment. While we don't have mountains as high as the Rockies and we're not at or below sea level like New Orleans, the topography of the Lehigh Valley is quite diverse. Blue Mountain in Plainfield Township, just north of Penn Argyl, stands at 1,660 feet, and it's the highest point in the valley. Then there's South Mountain near Lehigh University at 994 feet. Those high elevation points of our region are part of the Appalachians. The lowest point is the Lehigh River at Lehigh Gap. That's just 370 feet. In between these 2 extremes are other mountains, hills, valleys, and rivers, creating a rolling, often winding topography. I'm a native Californian, and I was used to long, wide, straight roads being paved before they even led to developments. But because this is the East Coast, where historical landmarks have existed for hundreds of years, roads are built around them, as well as the natural lay of the land. Giving directions here will often involve phrases such as, "When you get to the top of the hill," or "the road will curve to your left." It also means that roads will often change names, which can be frustrating. I will attest to that. So if you like those long, flat, straight, and perpendicular roads, Eastern PA may not be the place for you. Reason number 3, you may not consider this an ideal place to live, is that it is a healthy distance from major metropolises like New York City and Philadelphia. Most of us who live here can find anything that we could want. Excellent ethnic restaurants, entertainment such as comedy, music, art, and theater, family-friendly events and destinations, skiing, ample shopping, and world-class healthcare. However, when one does want or need to go to the big city, Philly is about an hour away and New York City is about a 90-minute drive. Some people love the amenities that those metropolises offer, and these driving distance are not daunting at all. But some of us don't relish fighting the traffic to get over a bridge or through a tunnel to New York. Can you live in the Lehigh Valley and commute to these cities? Absolutely you can, and many people do. Obviously, you need to factor in the commute to your schedule, and that can be unpredictable due to weather, traffic, and accidents. Living in Allentown, Bethlehem, and Easton, or one of the smaller suburbs, will make home ownership much more affordable than those large cities, but still give you access to them when you need the lifeblood of a large city. Pennsylvania is called the Keystone State because of the essential role it played in the founding of the nation. Keystone, as you can see from this picture, is an architectural term that refers to the wedge-shaped stone that holds all other stones together. So calling Pennsylvania the Keystone State is a nod to the state's key geographic position, and it's true. The state is perfectly connected to large metro areas in every direction. In addition to New York City and Philadelphia, the Lehigh Valley is in proximity to Baltimore, Boston, and Washington, D.C. But none of the cities of the Lehigh Valley have a population over 150,000. So if a big city is your vibe, this may not be the place for you. Number 4, do not move to Eastern PA if you don't like outdoor activities. From scenic walks and strolls to hikes and running trails, the Lehigh Valley offers miles of off-the-beaten-path adventures, crossing railroads, rivers, and canals. You can be whisked away from the routines of everyday life by stepping outside to discover nature at your own pace. For a unique bit of scenery along the way, walk or jog along Easton's Carl Sterner Arts Trail. Spanning 2.4 miles, this trail features artwork by the late Carl Sterner, who is known for his contemporary sculptures. Much of this pathway winds along the Bushkill Creek, with a small part heading into the city's center square and making its way to Riverside Park. Puppies are welcome along the trail, and you'll even find a dog park for them to roam free. For even more walks just as picturesque, check out some of the Rails to Trails paths in the valley. There's the Asher F. Boyle Trail between Northampton and Slatington, the Towpath Bike Trail in Palmer Township, the Ironton Rail Trail, which runs through Whitehall and Copley, and the Norbath Trail between Bath and Northampton. For longer distances, check out any portion of the D&L Trail. This is a multi-use trail, so you could walk, run, bike, skate, and it spans 165 miles, running along the canal paths between the Delaware and Lehigh rivers, as the name D&L implies. Most of the trails are flat and peaceful. Then you could make your adventure a learning experience by following Historic Bethlehem Museum and Sites Heritage Trail. And you could learn all about the history of over 80 different sites. There are plenty of challenging courses for the more serious hikers out there. South Mountain Gateway Trail in Emmaus and Jacobsburg State Park in Nazareth have offshoots from the main paths where you can find all sorts of terrain and natural attractions. And don't forget about Hawk Mountain. They have challenging rocky trails that reward you with spectacular views, as well as a new handicapped accessible trail suitable for wheelchairs or walkers, as well as strollers. Easton sits at the confluence of the Delaware and Lehigh rivers. While both rivers are incredible to walk next to and take pictures of, they're even better to get into. There are many ways to get out on the water, but perhaps the most fun comes in the form of rafting and tubing adventures. The Wildlands Conservancy also offers numerous ways to get out on the water in a bit more relaxed fashion. Their Bike and Boat and Lehigh River Sojourn events are aimed at not only getting in a canoe or kayak of your own, but also enjoying the sights along the way. What about biking? Lehigh Valley's extensive trail network is masterfully designed for mountain bikers of every skill level and built by professional trail builders and local volunteers. Bring your bike to cycle the backcountry adventures and gravity trails ranging from expert only to family friendly, and you'll encounter the best the sport has to offer. The previously mentioned Jacobsburg State Park features beginner through intermediate multi-use mountain biking trails, while Lehigh Parkway is a multi-use, multi-surface path in the center of Allentown. The 8 to 12 foot wide macadam beds in Palmer Township easily accommodate cycling, rollerblading, and jogging enthusiasts alike. South Mountain Wildlands Preserve offers technical mountain bike trails managed by the Wildlands Conservancy in Emmaus. Intermediate and advanced riders take to the Walking Purchase Park in Salisbury, a multi-use trail system designed, constructed, and maintained by the Valley Mountain Bikers Group. Elite riders could try out the 28-degree banked turns at the Valley Preferred Cycling Center in Trexlertown, as it offers high-caliber action on a cycling track made of concrete. Regardless of your activity level, there are parklands, rivers, trails, and paths for hiking, biking, running, or walking. Nature has never been more than a short drive away. The last reason you may not want to move here is because you don't want to retire cheaply. Retirement income is tax exempt in Pennsylvania, effectively making this one of the most tax-friendly states for retirees. Both Social Security income and withdrawals from retirement accounts such as pensions, 401k, and IRAs are tax exempt. Heck, Even if you're not moving to Pennsylvania for the retirement, you'll be happy to know that at 3.07%, the state has the lowest flat tax income rate in the nation, which means that those of us living in Pennsylvania get to keep more of our paychecks. And that is a perk that can't be overstated. In addition to this benefit, the sales tax of 6% is on par with the national average. However, there's a plethora of items that are tax-free in PA. These include groceries, prescription meds, clothing, shoes, craft and sewing supplies, textbooks, cosmetics, toiletries, medical supplies, supplements, health-related items, utilities, and veterinarian services. It's not free to live here, but it is affordable. I hope that this short list gives you a few things to think about as you make your decision about moving to Eastern PA. I'm Cynthia with Cinderella Sells and the Living in Eastern PA channel. I would love to talk to you about your move here to Eastern PA.